Perfection. Let's explore one of the most paradoxical and misunderstood forms of disrupted balance: perfectionism. It may seem harmless at first, but it can lead to serious consequences. From early childhood, we're taught to do things thoroughly, carefully, and to always do our best. We're taught responsibility, right and wrong, and a sense of discipline. And while this is necessary, otherwise we'd live in a world full of slackers. These values often become deeply embedded, especially in those who strongly align with societal expectations. For some, the pursuit of perfection turns into an obsession. Their life becomes a constant struggle. But what exactly are they struggling with? The balancing forces, of course. When you demand perfection in everything, you create internal tension. That tension generates excess potential, which invites disruption. Trying to do your best isn't bad, until it becomes too important. Then, the balancing forces step in. Ironically, the harder you try to perfect things, the worse they get. This leads to a feedback loop. The more you try to fix things, the more they break down. Striving for perfection becomes a habit, then a compulsion. And this doesn't only affect the perfectionist, it affects those around them. A perfectionist isn't just hard on themselves. They tend to project expectations onto others. They can't tolerate differences in habits, tastes, or approaches. What begins as minor tension can escalate into major conflict. From the outside, the situation might seem absurd. Someone obsessed with being flawless ends up causing stress for everyone. But to the perfectionist, their behavior feels justified. They start to believe they are the standard of correctness, that they are right, always. They may not admit it out loud, but deep down, they think, in trying to be a role model, I already am one. This self-righteousness becomes unconscious. The desire to correct others turns into a mission. And now, we see the birth of the destiny maker, someone who sees themselves as the moral authority. They believe they know how others should think, feel, live, and behave. Their judgments turn into sermons. Their opinions become rules. On the energy level, this creates a huge excess potential. Anyone who disagrees is seen as misled or even dangerous. Resistance must be punished, dissent must be labeled, and so the perfectionist transforms into a judge, a preacher, even a quiet tyrant. Now, I trust that you, dear listener, don't see yourself in this extreme example. After all, a person who believes they already know everything wouldn't be listening to a message like this. Still, if you meet someone like this, take a closer look. It's a powerful case of energetic imbalance. We're all guests in this world. Everyone is free to choose their own path. No one has the right to judge others, condemn them, or define who they should be. It all begins innocently enough, a simple desire to do things well, but left unchecked, it can grow into a controlling mindset, and the greater the imbalance, the stronger the resistance from the world around you. Even if a perfectionist is supported by social structures or collective pendulums, eventually, the bill comes due, because when a guest starts acting like the host, the world has a way of showing them the door. The nature of importance. Let's now look at the most common and subtle form of excess potential: importance. This type of imbalance arises whenever something is given too much weight. It represents excess potential in its purest form. And when this potential is created, the balancing forces respond by disrupting the person who gave rise to it. There are two forms of importance: inner and outer. Inner importance is about overestimating yourself, your strengths, flaws, or role. Think of thoughts like, I'm an important person, or my work is incredibly important. Once your inner importance rises too high, the balancing forces push back. The big shot will face failure or humiliation. Even the person who thinks they're doing essential work may see their results ignored or fall short. But this isn't just about pride. Excess inner importance also includes self-belittling, guilt, or feelings of worthlessness. Whether it's inflated pride or crushing self-doubt, the energetic imbalance is the same, only the direction differs. Then there's outer importance. where someone assigns exaggerated value to external events or things. This looks like this goal is everything to me, or I absolutely must get this. That kind of energy creates tension and invites the forces of disruption. Imagine walking across a log lying on the ground. Simple, right? But now picture walking across the same log between two skyscrapers. Suddenly, its position becomes very important. That tension causes fear, hesitation, and possibly failure. The way to handle outer importance. Build a safety net, your own metaphorical parachute, a plan B, a buffer, something that prevents you from putting all your energy on one side of the scale. All forms of stress, discomfort, and negative emotion are, in essence, manifestations of importance. Irritation, fear, anxiety, sadness, anger, guilt, worship, jealousy, pride, contempt, they all stem from attributing too much value to something. Excess potential only arises when you give something inside or outside yourself too much importance. This creates an energetic distortion. The balancing forces will then step in, throwing challenges your way to restore equilibrium. Life becomes a never-ending struggle, all because you tip the scales too far, and it gets worse. Pendulums, those collective energy structures, use your reactions to manipulate you. Fear, guilt, obligation, outrage, or idealization, those are hooks they grab onto. Once you're emotionally invested, they can siphon your energy and steer your choices. Picture it. A neutral event is in front of you. Energetically, it's just data. But once you place it inside your personal box of importance, you create a story around it. You judge it, admire it, fear it, desire it. And now, you've handed the pendulum a carrot, a reason to lead you wherever it wants. You're no longer moving freely, you're reacting. That's how importance becomes the bait. If you want to live in harmony with the world and free yourself from pendulums, you have to reduce excessive importance. That means staying aware of how much weight you assign to yourself, to others, and to situations. Your inner overseer should always be alert. When you reduce importance, you instantly regain balance. The pendulum can't latch onto emptiness, only what sticks out. Now, that doesn't mean you should become cold or emotionless. It's not about killing your feelings. Trying to suppress emotions will only create more excess potential. Instead, look at the attitude behind the emotions. That's where importance lives. Emotions are consequences, not causes. They stem from the importance you assign to things. Change the attitude, and the feelings will follow. What about things that really matter, like a birth, a death, a wedding, or a tragedy? Should you be indifferent to them? Of course not. The key is to feel deeply, but not create problems from it. You don't need to suffer or make others suffer just because something is important. Even compassion can get hijacked. Say you're helping someone in need, but what if that person enjoys their suffering? Your help then becomes fuel for their story, or you donate to someone who turns out to be faking it. That wasn't real compassion, it was manipulated importance. In nature, importance doesn't exist. There is only what works. Only humans invent importance, and pendulums love it. High outer importance creates fanatics. High inner importance creates tyrants. This may sound overwhelming, like life is a trap and everything causes imbalance. But it's not that bad. The balancing forces only disrupt things when the importance becomes an obsession, when you're truly fixated. The rest is manageable, especially once you're aware of how pendulums operate. And here's the reward: freedom of choice. Yes, technically we all have the right to choose, but excessive importance takes that away. You're too drained from emotional battles and internal conflict to make clear decisions. Instead, you react, conform, or chase goals that aren't truly yours. Pendulums are constantly trying to hijack your mind and redirect your energy toward their agenda. Reducing importance means unplugging from that system. It's how you reclaim your ability to choose, not based on fear or pressure, but on genuine desire. At the end of the day, importance is made up. None of us is inherently important, and yet, paradoxically, everything is available to us. Think of children playing freely at the beach. They don't judge themselves, they don't assign value to the waves, the toys, or each other. They're in harmony, and that's why they're joyful. We are all children of nature. If we don't disrupt the balance, we can have everything we need. But once we invent importance, problems begin. And since we don't see the connection, we think life is hard, the world is against us, or success is reserved for others. So in the end, the world doesn't limit you. Importance does. It creates resistance, invites problems, and hands over your energy to forces beyond your control. But once you see it clearly, you can step aside, release the tension, and reclaim your freedom. Let go of the burden of being someone or achieving something at all costs. You don't need to prove anything, you're already part of the flow. Let go of importance, and let life open its doors to you. Thank you for listening. If this message resonated with you, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more insights from the portal to self.